Jim, did you grow up in this area? Did you grow up in this community?
I was born and raised in Dinsmore. Been here my whole life. My first visit to Dinsmore Baptist Church was in my mother's arms. So that's how long I've been there. So I'm not the oldest member, but I've been around a long time. You know, Dinsmore's always been a working class community. A lot of fine folks. Used to be the dairy capital of this part of the world. So we grew up. Everybody had to go to work, and everybody had to do what they needed to do. And Christmas was always a special time of year. It wasn't so much about presents; it was more about family, and in fact, it was more about food than anything else. We all like to eat, so it was lots of great memories of Christmas in the past. A little slower pace than it is now.
So walk me through the tradition. What was it like?
The night before, the anticipation, wow, Christmas is here, it's coming. What was going to happen the next morning, and so it was always to bed early, and getting up and seeing what had taken place. But yeah, it was not the night before. It was always Christmas morning. Now, the night before, we were always eating. Again, back to food. Food was a big part of the celebration for us. But just enjoying the morning and with the family.
Tell me about your favorite Christmas gift you got as a kid, or your most memorable Christmas gift you got as a kid.
Wow. Probably it's going to be two things. One is going to be a bicycle. I got a banana seat bicycle back in the day. Nobody even probably remembers what that is, but I can remember that as being one of my favorite Christmas gifts. And then, because we were all about hunting and fishing, we always ended up with something that related to hunting and fishing. So probably a rifle that I got as a child. And that was probably my two most memorable Christmas gifts.
You still have that rifle?
I do.
Why am I not surprised?
I do.
What's the most memorable Christmas gift you've ever given? And what I'm thinking about is maybe one that you had to work real hard to make happen, or kind of get it in under the radar without somebody finding out.
Right.
Like that.
One of the most probably memorable that I've given away is back 10 years ago. I took all the old 8mm film and I put it on VHS, which is now obsolete. But I gave that away along with some pictures of grandparents and family that no one else had. So I duplicated it and gave it away as Christmas gifts.
That is awesome. So what is Christmas like in your household now? Your kids are grown. You got grandkids. What does Christmas look like? Not what does it mean, but what does it look like in the Jones house?
We're going to go back to food, and then it's going to be grandkids. Everything really anymore, because as adults, we pretty much have what we want. The kids are doing well, so it's all about the grandkids now.
So contrast that with Christmas when you guys were young and just kind of starting out, and the kids were young. How is it different?
Back when Cheryl and I first got married and the kids were born, it was probably again, being working class folks, it was kind of a struggle sometimes to make sure that we provided what we needed to. But man, we always had each other. We always had, the family involved. And, I didn't have my grandparents as I was a child growing up. Most of my grandparents had passed away. And so even my father passed away when I was 21 years old. So, my circle of family had gotten a little smaller. So for us and the kids, it was just, it was about the family and about what Christmas really meant. It really wasn't about the gifts.
Christmas is right around the corner. What's the one thing that if we don't do this, it doesn't feel like Christmas to Jim Jones?
You know, the candlelight service that we've done at the church in the past has always been pretty cool. I like that. But back to just family, just being there with our family and what that really means. Because when you boil it all down to it, our faith is our first thing and our family is our second thing. So that's what I like about Christmas.
So what is your favorite Christmas song?
Silent Night's got to be it for me. I think Silent Night is back to what Christmas really means. I mean, Jingle Bells and all that's what everybody knows the most, but, you know, my favorite's going to be Silent Night.